Hey everyone, it's Megan from Bookish Delights. In today's video, I'm going to comb through my books and do a kind of an unhaul. I don't think I'm going to get rid of very many books because it's not been too long ago since I've done an unhaul. But what I am going to do, I'm going to pull some books off of my shelf. Some of them will probably be an unhaul, like I said, but I think most of them, what I'm going to do is pull off books that I want to kind of test the waters with. So they are a maybe keep, maybe unhaul, and I'm going to maybe do like a try a chapter thing where I try the first chapter or the second chapter and see if I like it and want to continue with it, because there are quite a few books that I've had on my shelf for quite a few years now, and I'm just not sure if I really want to read those books anymore. So I just want to test the waters with them. So this is basically going to be like a maybe TBR. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to title this, but let's just get right into it. I'm going to do like a time lapse. Now this is like a 6-shelf bookcase, and I do have some other books over here. You're only going to see me comb through these, and then I will pop back with any books I'm going to unhaul and any books that are going into my maybe pile, because I do have a book lid order coming soon, like very soon, so I need to make room. This is not including the 2 bookshelves that are in my bedroom. Those are full of my favorites, as well as the other shelf holds my Mary Higgins Clark collection, my Sidney Sheldon collection, and my V.C. Andrews collection. So those are staying put. Those are staying. So let's just hop right into it. I come through the shelves. I went through them pretty quickly. A lot of these books I do want to read, but some of them I do want to get rid of them, and others that I'm just not quite sure that I want to read anymore. But I'm going to start off with books that I am definitely unhauling, and there are 5. I was hoping there's going to be more, but who knows, there could be more once I start on these books, the maybe books. So I'm starting off with Hidden by Helen Frost. This is it's kind of like a poetry book, but it's a little novel, but it's written in prose. The lighting is really harsh. There we go, you can kind of see it. So it's written in prose. It's really nice. I really liked it, but I'm not sure. It's just not really for me. It's not something that I will reread, and I'm trying to keep books that I absolutely love and will potentially reread at some point in my life. So this I don't think I will reread, but it is a really nice, it's written really nice. It's okay. It's alright. Next we have The Absolute of Nothing, and this is by C.G. Watson. The cover is really beautiful, and that's what caught my eye, and that's what made me want to read it. But I actually DNF'd this. I got as far as, I think it was like chapter 10. Like I wasn't even halfway through. I thought it was going to be more intense and more hard-hitting, but the majority of it is made up all entirely in his head, and it's based on this video game that I think his name is Caleb plays. I did skip to the end to see what actually happened because I was not suffering through it. It just dragged on, and it was not what I wanted. Next, we have Tell Me Something Real by Kala Devlin. It dealt with mental illness, some form of mental illness with the mother. And it is a nice read, and I do recommend it to people. And the cover is beautiful. I really like the cover, but I can't keep it just because of the cover. And even though I really did enjoy this book, I think I gave it like a 4-star. But the reason why I'm taking it off my shelf is because I have other books that I love, and I'm just not going to reread it. So this will be going to a thrift store. And then next is a book that these last 2 books I have won, but I don't see myself reading them at all. And this is Motive by Jonathan Kellerman. I mean, it's a chunky book. I'm pretty sure it's like a mystery thriller. And I'm also pretty sure it is part of a long series. I do not want to get into that. And I just have other books on my shelves that are more of a top priority. This is something that I won. I don't really care for it. And that is the same with this book. This is called, what is this? This is Code by Kathy and Brendan Riches. And I'm pretty sure it's just a trilogy as far as I know, but it's still something that I just don't see myself picking up, and I think it's more of a sci-fi, and I'm not really into sci-fi all that much. But if you have read these 2 books and you have enjoyed it and you think that I should keep them and read them, then let me know down below and you can decide if I should keep these books. So moving right along into my maybe pile that I want to try out, or I'm not sure if I want to read anymore. I have quite a few of these. These have been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and I just keep getting books that are higher priorities. These probably won't be read anytime soon, but hopefully in the start of the new year that I will try these books. The first one, this is a bind up of I think 2 books, but it's Wicked. This is Witch and Curse by Nancy Holder and Debbie I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. I haven't reached for it at all, and I've had it on my shelf for a couple years, but it do still interest me. I can't even remember what any of this is about, but it does still interest me, so I think I'm going to try reading like the first chapter to see how it goes. Next we have Beautiful Creatures by Kami Garcia and Margaret Stahl. And I've heard mixed reviews on this book, and I picked it up at a thrift store. I don't particularly like this cover. I really don't like any like movie poster editions, and I try to stay away from them. Next we have a book by Lauren Oliver, and this is Replica. And this is one where you read it one way and then you can flip it around and read it the other way. And that concept is so interesting to me. And like, I love how it's like printed on the cover. Like, this is see-through. And again, this is something that I've heard mixed reviews on, but I'm not ready to give it up. I've read a Lauren Oliver book before and I really enjoyed her writing, so I'm hoping I like this book as well. Now, the other Lauren Oliver book, I can't remember the name of it, but I also unhauled that one because even though I enjoyed it, it's just not something I wanted to reread. But this might end up being the same way, but we will have to see. Moving right along, this is a book that I actually painted the edges. And this is Linnell by the Sea. I think this was a discard book from my library. And this is by Lori Lico Albanese. and it's just like a short little read. I think it might be like a mystery, or I'm not quite sure, but if I remember correctly, it was something about a child goes missing, and the girl or the woman who took the baby, thought it was her baby or something along those lines. So I mean, it seems interesting, and I do still want to give it a try and maybe hopefully like it, but like it's not been a priority, so I don't reach for it. Next, we have Had to Keep Rolling After a Fall, and this is by Carol Cazo, and I love the cover of this. I love anything with like an ombre and galaxy, anything like that, love it. And anything with like scripty calligraphy font, love it. I haven't heard too much about this book, and it's a short little read. Hoping I love it. I do believe it's a standalone book. It's a contemporary book. I also love like when there's silhouettes on books. And then the next one we have, I heard actually like great things about this. I've heard many people like this, and this is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I've had this for a while, and I do really want to read it. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I just need to start reading books I own and not get books from the library or anything. I have a library of my own that I need to read, so this is gonna be one that I'm just going to test out the waters. I can't remember anything about this book, but the cover is really beautiful, and that's the main reason why I bought it. Next, we have a Jenny Han book, and this is The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's hard to see because it's white, but I heard this was kind of like a controversial book. Like there was a few things in here that not a lot of people really liked, and it made them turn away from the rest of the series, but I've been wanting to read this ever since it came out, and this was several years ago. And I do like her other books, To All the Boys I Loved Before. I love that series. I still haven't finished that series, but that's another topic we could talk about. Next is, this book is probably the oldest unread book on my shelf, and I bought this maybe in like 2013, 2014, and I originally bought it for my mom because it was only like $3, and this is The Trouble with Alice by Olivia Glazebrook, and I cannot remember anything about it. I think it's dealing with like a married couple and they go on vacation. Maybe, I think there was an accident or something. I honestly don't know, and I've been holding on to it because I still really want to try it. I've never read anything by Olivia Glazebrook, and we're almost done. I have 2 more books. The next book I bought at Dollarama, dollar store here in Canada, and this is Vivian Apple Against the World by Katie Cole, and it's something about like the end of the world, and her parents and her family go missing, except for the main character Vivian, and I think she's on like a hunt to find out what happened and find her family, and she might be with her best friend. I really don't know. The cover, I don't really like the cover all that much, but it's yeah. The next book, the last book, this was already in an unhaul previously, but I kept it to give it a shot, and I haven't given it another chance yet, but by doing this video, this is going to give me some incentive to actually do that, and this is Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I mean, I've heard that it's really good, and it's been compared to the Night Circus. This is the Night Circus. It has been compared to Caraval by Stephanie Gerber, and as you guys know, I love Caraval series, the trilogy, and I did read this. I listened to the audiobook, but I do not remember a thing about it, so I decided to give it a second chance, but I'm going to stick to reading the physical book. Now, I did start reading the physical book the first time I was reading it, but there was also when I tried to do like some sort of color coding when I was annotating, and like I had this big color code system. Like one color was for names, like new characters coming in. Another one was like for plot points, and then scenes that I loved, quotes that I loved, foreshadowing. Like it was very in depth, and I really wasn't enjoying the book as I was annotating, so I just gave it up and switched to the audiobook. But I think now that I have figured out my annotation system, that I might enjoy it a little bit more, so I am keeping this one for now and giving it another try. So those are books that I'm unhauling and books that are potentially going to be unhauled. What I think I'm gonna do is just read the first chapter or whatever, and then decide then if I'm going to keep the books, and then next year will be when I read the books that I'm keeping. So I hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed any of these books, and if I should keep any of them. I would like to know your thoughts on those if you have read them. Like and subscribe, hit that little bell icon to receive any notifications for when I upload a new video. Leave any video suggestions in the comments below, and I will see you next time.